Okay, we're recording. All right, so I'll show you an exam paper. Sorry, I will. I'll just have to open it first. This is a good start.
I just want to check if my mute works on the shift bar.
You were showing.
Could you hear me?
No,
Oh, okay. Obviously it doesn't. Thank you.
no, I couldn't hear you when you were
That's
saying,
fine.
can you hear me?
Sorry, I've got too many things open. Oh, here it is.
I'll mute.
Oh, no, that's grade 2. Here's grade 1. Okay. All right, so let me just share my screen. This was a poor attempt at recording a meeting. Here we go. Okay, we're good now. Okay, so can you see that on your screen, the the exam paper?
Yep, can see that.
Okay, so section 1, you just have to, it's sort of multiple choice. Put a tick next to the correct answer. So they've given you an example, name this note. C is in the correct note, right? So that's pretty easy. So, you know, is this B, D, or G?
D, isn't it?
That would be D.
Yeah.
That would be D. It's just right above middle C. Remember the line here above the bass clef is middle C, and so that's the one above, so that's D. What's this note?
G.
That's G. Name the notes to find the hidden word.
Oh, wow.
A, G.
Bag.
Yeah, bag.
Do we agree with bag?
Yep.
Yep, bass clef, B, A, G. Yep, so that's bag. How many crotchet beats in a semibreve? This is an English, this is Trinity College, so it's English terminology. Crotchet beats in a semibreve. How many, can we remember that?
4.
There are indeed 4. Yeah, if you were using American terminology, it would be how many quarter beats are there in a whole note, which makes it really easy, right? Because there's 4 quarters to a whole. But yes, 4 crotchets to a semibreve.
So a breve is 8 beats, is it?
A breve is 8 beats, but we don't use it in modern music.
This is very small on my screen. I don't know how to make it bigger. I'm having to, sorry, there must be some button I can press to make it bigger. Never mind, go on, don't look at me.
You can
Can
probably
you not do speaker view?
I've just got to go really close so that I can see it.
Isn't it called speaker view? And then you can see that whole screen big and all other screens little.
yeah, or just do full screen if you haven't yet gone to full screen. It should be like basically taking up most of your screen.
Top right hand corner.
Yeah, it's sort of, anyway, go on. It's just that I'm using a tablet and I usually use the PC.
Add the total number of crotchet beats in these note value and rests.
2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 4.
No, 2,
I
3,
say 4.
5.
Okay, how many crotchet beats in that note?
I think there's 5.
5. Oh, 4. I reckon it's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's the rest I'm not sure of.
Yeah, the rest is the tricky one, right? Because is this a 2-beat rest or is this a 4-beat rest?
2.
I thought it was 2.
If it's coming up from the line, it's 2, right?
Yeah.
And hanging down from the line is 4. Well, hanging down from the line can be any number depending on what time signature you're in. But if you're coming up from the line, that's worth 2. This is worth 1. That is
Oh.
worth 2.
5.
So therefore it's 5.
5.
Yep.
Mm.
Which rest matches the length of this note value?
Second one.
Yep.
Little seagull in the
Yep.
dusty.
Yeah.
Yep, second one.
Yep. That's
Yep.
a crotchet rest. What is the correct time signature for this bar of music?
The third one.
2-4.
2-4.
Yeah.
2-4.
2-4 it is. To return the last note to the pitch of the first note, which accidental would you use?
Flat.
The flat. Yeah.
The flat. This is not difficult, right? It was flattened. It became a natural. It goes back to a flat.
Oh, okay.
Now this is trickier.
Which pair of notes has a distance of a semitone between them?
Okay, the first one is E to F, so that's
Yeah.
semitone.
The
No, it
first
doesn't have a
one-
semitone between them.
The first one
Yeah.
is not E to F, but
ENF.
Oh,
E&F
no,
is the
no.
correct- E&F is the correct answer, but
Bass clef.
I'm
Yeah.
just
Oh,
calling-
bass clef
Don't know why they
again.
had to have the picture there.
Oh,
We didn't need the
But
picture, though,
that's-
did we?
Yeah, you don't
That
even need to
was-
work out the notes. They've given them to you. So it's here's G and A, here's D and C, here's E and F. So the question is
Oh.
which of those 3 is a semitone apart?
well, I don't know. How would I know that without looking at the piano? Yeah.
So, yes,
I've just got to remember that.
What if
memorize.
I've got
E&F?
2 hours? I've got time to look at the piano, haven't I?
F and
Well,
C.
yeah, E and F is the correct answer, and so it's a good. I mean, yes, it's always a good idea to have a copy of a piano or something near you. But if you can memorize what a piano looks like, it makes this a whole bunch easier.
Ah,
You know, I mean,
yeah.
B and C and E and F are the 2 white notes which are right next to each other, right?
It is a tonic,
Well,
G of G major.
Okay. What is the?
they're
what-
all white notes.
Yes, but but there are white notes that don't have a black note in between them, right?
Right.
So-
Yeah.
Which is E and F or B and C, and so yeah. Okay, which note is the tonic in the key of G major?
G.
G. Yep, that's easy.
Is it? I suppose.
Yeah. So remembering what are the names of the scale, right? So your tonic is 1, your dominant is 5. Your subdominant was 4, your median was 3. You know, there was one of the sessions we did, what are the names of each note in the scale?
Oh
So-
God, I didn't think I'd have to remember that.
Well, I mean, this is grade 1, so they're only asking you what is the tonic, and the tonic is always 1, you know, either 1 or 8.
G major.
Oh yeah, I knew that.
So tonic, key of G major is,
Yeah.
here is the scale of G major. Where are the semitones?
Between 7 and 8,
Yeah.
and between
Ah.
3 and 4.
How do you work that out?
It's
You
always
just
the
know.
same. It's always the same. Remember we did when we did the scale. It's tone, tone, semitone,
Yep.
tone, 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 semitone. Right.
Yep.
So that was our. That was back in, I don't know how many weeks ago we did
So
that.
does that tell you where the black notes are? I mean, I've memorized that. Is that what it does?
Well,
No, not-
depends what key you're in.
And C
Right.
is
It does if you're in the key of C.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, when you're looking at a scale, the pattern is always tone, tone. So if you're starting on here on 1, that's going to be a tone. That's going to be a tone. This is going to be a semitone. Tone, 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 semitone. So that's just the pattern of a major scale
Right.
every time, no matter which major scale you have. So it's between the 3rd and 4th and between the 7th and 8th, the semitones.
Oh, well, good.
Yep. Yeah, so that was, yeah, hopefully if you've got all the handouts and PDFs and we've done, that one will be in there somewhere. Tone, tone, semitone, tone, semitone.
Yeah, it is, but it's trying to remember it all.
Yeah, yeah.
I memorized that, but I didn't know what I memorized it for.
Okay, these ones are, okay, what's the key signature? Which key signature is this?
G flat, isn't it? Oh, I mean,
Major.
hang on, what are we? We're in bass.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. One flat is always
F major.
F,
major. Yeah.
F.
Yes.
It's called symbol fits this tonic triangle.
One flat, you know, your rule for flats are the second to last flat is your key, right? But that doesn't work when you've only got one. So you just have to remember if you've got one flat, it's F major, right? So that's just, yep. Which chord symbol fits above this tonic triad? In other words, what is the...
D.
C.
Which chord singles?
So is it C, F, or G?
C.
C.
It's a C chord, right? C, E, and G. Yep.
G major.
Okay.
G major.
Which note needs to be added to make a tonic triad in the key of G major?
D.
D.
G, B, D. You need to add a D, don't you?
Check carefully. What?
Oh, it's a bass clef.
It's a bass clef.
Ah, right. Okay.
B.
E major.
D.
E.
That's
What notes have you got here?
B.
B.
You've got B and
You've
D.
got-
B, D.
So you're
You've
missing
got
the
B and
G.
D because we're in the bass clef. You've got to always check your clef.
Yeah.
Great Big Dreams, or Good Boys Deserve, whatever your little rhyme is.
Yep. So,
So
the one that's missing is a G, isn't it?
the one that's
Oh.
missing is the G at the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Is it all cows eat grass in the spaces?
Correct.
Right.
Good boys deserve fine apples, or was it our rhyme for the lines? So
Triad.
we needed a tonic triad in G major, so we had B and D. We need to add the G at the bottom.
E. Ah.
Oh.
Everyone understand question 14?
No.
Yes.
Okay, so we need to build a triad, a tonic triad in the key of G major. So
That means that you've got to start on the G.
yes, your tonic needs to be G.
Right. Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah.
So here we've got a B and a D. So if we had a
Mm.
G at the bottom, we would form a tonic triad in the key of G. Right?
Yep. Yeah. Got to read the question properly.
You
Yes.
do.
Think about it. Yeah.
Stay.
Getting tricky.
So, and it was multiple choice. So the options were D, G, and B. And if you check, well, which notes do we have? We have a B and we have a D.
Oh, okay.
So you wouldn't need to add those ones. You know, G is the only other option left.
Notes.
So
Must
name the interval.
be a fourth.
Perfect fourth by the looks.
Fourth.
Don't even need to tell us what type of
Has to be an
interval.
even number.
Yeah, that's right. If this is a fourth.
Yay!
You've got a line and a space.
Four,
It's got to be even. So yeah, that's a fourth.
G
What-
to
Yep, and name this interval at 16.
Unison.
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 Yeah, they're not that challenging at grade 1. You can figure that one out.
Well,
Tonic
Okay.
triad in the key of
a
G.
couple I would have got wrong.
Which notes would you find in a tonic triad in the key of F major? What are the three notes in the triad starting on F?
F, A,
D.
D.
Casey.
It's your spaces. What are your spaces
FAC.
in the treble clef anyway? F, A, C, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, C is the fifth. Yeah.
Yeah. It's useful to, I mean, you'll get to learn those patterns as you do triads more frequently, right? So if your tonic is C, it's C, E, G, right? C, E, G is a tonic triad in C. If D, D, F, A, or D, F sharp A, so D, F, A, E, G, B, F, A, C, you know, if you can, you know, those patterns are quite useful to learn. But yes, so the notes in the tonic triad of F major, F, A, C. What does fortissimo mean?
Very loud.
Very loud.
Very loud.
Well done. Everyone remembers their Italian from last week. Very
I
loud.
wouldn't say that.
Parlo Italiano.
A tempo mark tells a player how softly or loudly to play, what speed to play, or to play smoothly.
Speed.
What speed to play. That is correct. Tempo is about speed. What does moderato mean?
Moderately loud.
Here are your options on the right.
Moderate pace.
Yeah.
A moderate pace. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
about speed rather than
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
volume.
One octave.
And who can remember what a walking pace is?
Andante.
Dante.
Andante. And what would fast be?
Fast.
Wrong. No.
Necrosimo. No.
Fast.
Allegro.
Allegro. That's right. That was not the question, but just testing that you could remember.
Well, I
Okay.
couldn't. I was cheating.
Okay. So section 2, we're not going to like do because it requires you to write. But so what you would need to do is write a 1 octave F major scale in semibreves going up. Use the correct key signature and then mark the semitones with a bracket. So I'll show you what they mean by this, right? So what is the key signature for an F major scale?
B flat.
One flat and B flat.
1
B
flat, B flat, yeah. So we would write in, see if I can write on this. Can I write on this? Hang on, here we go. We would write in our B flat. Then we have to write a 1 octave F major scale in semibreve. So obviously we need to start on an F. F is the tonic. So we would put our first note there. Sorry, my writing's going to be really bad because it's, and we would write in our, trying to write on the screen. So it's, oh, that one was bad. Let me redo that one.
And you don't have to put the flat in because it's already there.
Correct. The flat's already in the key signature, so you
Right.
don't need to worry about my bad, terrible writing, but I'm just doing it with my electronic pen.
Must be very hard.
Okay, so we've written our scale, starting on F, ending on F. Yep. We've used our correct key signature. Now we know what we need to do is mark the semitones. So remembering, where are the semitones in a major scale? We did that.
One semitone between
Three.
A and B.
Between
Semitones will be A.
A and B flat.
So it's between the 3rd and 4th scale degree, remember? So you
Well,
would
you
go
can see it.
do, yes. And where's the other one?
7 and 8.
E and F.
7 and 8.
Mhm.
So that would be the answer, right? You don't, I mean, you don't even need to figure out, I mean, you could check that yes, between A and a B flat is a semitone and between E and F is a semitone. But it's always going to be between the 3rd and 4th and 7th and 8th scale degrees, according to our pattern.
And I guess you could cross-check by noting that between A and B is not a semitone, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but but because we've got a B flat in our key signature.
Between G and A, I meant. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, did everyone understand the process for writing an F major scale?
Yep.
I understood the process, but the way that question is worded, I had no idea what they meant by marking it with a bracket.
Well, that's why I showed you what you should do. Yeah. Now, the next question is write a 1 octave arpeggio of C major in semibreves going down then up. Now,
Oh, God.
have we talked about arpeggios?
No.
Well, I can't remember what they are.
An arpeggio is effectively a triad broken down. So it's 1, 3, 5, 8.
No. I haven't got that in my cheat
No.
notes.
I'm not sure we actually did talk about it. So
No, we did.
here's a point. So a scale is every note in the scale, right? An arpeggio is only notes 1, 3, 5, and 8. Okay,
Oh,
so it's like 1, 3, and 5 are your triad, and then you just add the octave at the top. So here's a scale, an arpeggio. Da, 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 da. That's an arpeggio. In this case, they want us to write it going down, then up. So starting at the top. Da, 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 da. So if we're writing an arpeggio in C major,
Careful at the bass clef.
it's a bass clef. What note would we start on?
Yeah, I presume.
Middle C.
We'd start on a middle C.
Okay, well, that would be a high. Yeah.
Yep.
Above the stage.
Yep, that's it there. So then we need to write, what's the next note?
The fifth.
B,
G. No, you're going down from tonic to the
B.
So we're writing an arpeggio, which are notes 1, 3, 5, and 8. We're starting on 8.
Oh,
PA.
So
A.
what's the next note we need to write?
A.
No, it's
Not an A,
it'd be a G.
it's a G.
Why? Hang on, I don't get it.
Okay, so C major. 1, C is 1, D is 2, E is 3, F is 4, G is 5. Right? If you're starting on C and you're just counting up notes, what's the fifth of C major?
G.
C, D, E, F, G, right? So G
Yeah.
is your fifth. So,
But that's if you're going up.
well, it's the same if you're going down. So, I mean, the fifth is always the fifth. You don't have to count down to the fifth note down. Like,
Oh, don't you?
no. So like, the third of a scale is always the third of the scale. You know, the fifth of the scale is always the fifth of the scale, whether you're going up or down. So if you're going up, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you're coming down, you go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's what I mean, yeah. So don't you go, you know,
So if you're starting on,
CBA going down?
Yeah, but that's
C-
only.
so that would be 8, 7, 6. You need to
But
get
isn't
to
that
5.
what we're doing?
We need
We're
1,
in
3,
C.
5, 1, 3, 5, and 8. So if you're starting on 8, which is C, 8 is C, 7
Yes.
is C,
Yes,
6 is A,
yes.
5, G is 5. We want 5. 8, 5, 3, and 1.
Hmm.
Why don't, I don't get that.
No, neither do I.
Okay,
Write them in, Roger, Richard.
okay. Okay. So here is an arpeggio going down and then up. So the top note, this one, that's 8 of our scale.
Mhm.
This is a G, that's 5, 3, 1, right? C, right? So that's an octave, 8 and 1.
Back to C on one.
Yeah, back to C on 1. So, yep, so you understand that that's an octave?
Yes,
Yep.
Yep.
The third note of the scale, if we're going up the scale from C, we've missed out D and we've got to E, right? So E is our,
yep. 3,
yep. Then we
5, 8. I see.
miss out F and we get to G. So G is our, 8, 5, 3, 1, and then going back
Yeah.
up, 3,
3, 5, 8. Yeah.
3, 5, 8.
1, 3, 5, 8. Yeah, okay.
Darling, have you come to say hello? Come on.
Is that little pussycat?
Yes, sitting all over my papers.
They always.
Yeah, so that I know we haven't spoken. Yeah, that's a good thing to know. So when we go through this paper, there might be other things that we haven't talked about yet. So an arpeggio is a broken down chord, effectively. So we know that our triad uses the 1, 3, and 5 of the scale, and then we just add the octave at the top. So 8, 5, 3, 1, 3, 5, 8. It would sound like.
So does arpeggio always have 4 notes?
Yeah.
Right.
You could do a 2-octave arpeggio, but yeah, if you're using an arpeggio within 1 octave, it would always be the 4 notes. Yeah.
Right.
1, 3, 5, and 8. Or
Yep.
yeah. Oh, has everyone understood what we did there?
Think
Okay.
so.
All right. Now, section 3 is a bit tricky because we haven't really spoken about this stuff, but it's like how you write music. Okay, so it's asking you to circle the 5 mistakes. Now, some of them are easy, and some of them we'll have to discuss. So, can anyone spot an obvious mistake in how?
Key signature.
Right, the key signature is obviously a mistake, right? I mean, that's not where you put a flat. I mean, it's not close to being the correct spot for a flat.
Yep, and the wrong rest is being used in the final bar.
The wrong rest has been used in the final bar. So that's one mistake is our key signature. You would not.
It
put
should
one
be the other way around, shouldn't they? Does the time signature come before the key signature or not?
there. No.
Oh, isn't it? I can't remember.
Yeah. Key signature first, time signature second. So that's correct, but it's true that this is an incorrect rest, right? If we're counting the beats in the bar, that rest is worth 2 beats. We only need 2 beats in a bar. It should be a crotchet rest.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
What other mistakes can we see?
Which is the which rest is wrong? The end one.
The end one, which I've circled.
Right.
It should be like the
Right.
first one.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Any
Yeah.
other mistakes that we can see?
2 lines on the bar
Yeah.
between the 4th and 5th bar. 3rd and 4th bar.
Agreed. That should just be a single line between bars. You can use a double line at the end of a section or whatever, but this seems to be right in the middle of a section, and it wouldn't make sense to put it like that. Now there are 2 more, which we haven't really spoken about. But any guesses?
Should that line?
Is it to do with the way the stems are pointing?
Not quite. The stems are okay. The middle note can either go up or down. So in the first instance here, that's okay, right? If you've just got a single line of music, if you're above the middle line, you should put your stems down. If you're below the middle line, you should put your stems up. The middle line can go either way.
Mhm.
So the stems are correct.
Yep.
I actually had to look this up. Well, I got one of them. This one is a tempo marking. Andante means at a walking pace, right?
Yeah.
Tempo markings go above the stave. Dynamic markings go below the stave.
Oh, I don't know that we knew there.
No, you didn't. That's why I'm telling you. So,
Thank you. Can you just say that again and I'll write it down?
yep. So a tempo marking, like what speed or style you should do it, goes above the stave, whereas a dynamic marking like P or M or MF or those ones goes below the stave.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
The other one.
so glad I wasn't doing this tonight. I thought it would be easy and it's not.
Well, yes, I know. This one is a bit tricky, this particular question. The other mistake is a bit nitpicky in my view, but what they've suggested as a mistake is in the second bar, because they're all quavers, you would have the option of actually joining them all together.
Right.
Oh, that's so nitpicky.
It's quite nitpicky. So
I
that's,
often see it written like that.
I know, but that's
That's right.
that's the mistake that they're suggesting, that if you have 4 quavers, you can join them all together.
But you don't have to. You could put them all by themselves, couldn't
Hang
you?
on.
No, you would always join them together in at least groups of 2.
But those two in the middle are not the same note.
That doesn't matter.
So how would
Well,
you join them together?
why aren't the last 2 joined together then?
They are.
No, they're not.
Oh, you mean join together with a beam?
So yes.
Oh, okay.
Why aren't the
So,
ones
so
in
I'll,
the
I'll draw what they want it to look like. So you've got that one, that one,
Yeah.
that one.
So 1, 2,
That
3,
one.
4, 5. Yeah.
I want it to look like that.
Yeah, I understand that, but
Oh,
what about the next 2 crotchets? Why aren't they joined
Oh,
together
well,
if that's
it's
what
crotchets.
you do?
Quavers, quavers you join together. Crotchets you don't.
Oh,
Because if you put a beam between those 2 crotchets, they would in fact be quavers.
They would become quavers. Yes.
Mm.
mm.
Yeah, I see.
What I thought they were
Crotchets that become quaver, 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 crotchet, crotchet, crotchet.
Well,
sometimes,
Okay.
Richard, when you see 2 quavers, sorry, a crotchet written as 2 joined quavers, it's when the quavers span a beat line.
Yeah. If you're spanning a bar line, yeah, you would have 2 quavers and join them and tie them together
Yeah,
in a sort of a syncopation
exactly.
situation.
That's why
Yeah.
it's
so
how I recognise.
are you saying that any 2 crotchets joined together aren't crotchets anymore?
Correct.
Oh, yeah. I don't know that I actually ever understood that.
Right.
Because then they look like quavers.
Yeah. Yeah. If you join the notes together, they're no longer crotchets.
Right. Thank you.
And
So
it doubles their value.
Well, yeah, I mean, it halves their value.
Halves, yes,
Right.
halves,
It halves their value.
That's right.
yes.
Okay. So that one was a wee bit tricky, but you certainly got the key signature and you got the rest and you got
Marilyn
the
did.
bar line, which was weird.
Well done, Marilyn.
I would have guessed that one. If I was stuck in an exam, I would have guessed that,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I wouldn't have known it.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, and then it would be a matter of just writing it out, which means you have to kind of practice writing treble clefs. And where should the flat go? If we've got 1 flat in our key signature, where should it go?
On the B.
On the B, in the middle.
There, right?
Mhm.
You put your 2, 4. You'd have to write andante up here. And so on and so forth.
Okay, got it.
Oh my God.
sorry, could you just repeat the rule about the 4 quavers being joined together?
So if you have 4 quavers in a bar,
Yeah.
whether it's a 2/4 bar or a 4/4 bar, you can join 4 together. You can't join 8 together. If you had a bar that's in 4/4 time with 8 quavers, you would group them in groups of 4. But they can only be in even groups. They can either be in groups of 2 or 4 if you're in 2/4 time.
Right.
If you're in a compound time like 12/8, then you could join together 3. But in a simple time like 2/4 or 4/4, you can join together groups of 2 or groups of 4. So if you had 3 quavers in a bar and a quaver rest, how would you write that?
I guess you would write it as 2 joined plus 1 lone quaver.
Correct.
Right.
If you had 3 quavers in a bar and a quaver rest in a 2/4 bar, you would join together 2 of the first 2 quavers, then have a single quaver, then the rest.
Right. And is that so that you don't confuse it, because 3 quavers written with a beam across them would start to look like a triplet?
Yeah, I imagine that's the reason, yes. Okay,
Well,
okay, so yeah, you would join together groups of 2 or groups of 4 quavers. Yeah, more or less the rule. We can look into that slightly more if need be, but there you go. So that's the answer to section 3. Section 4 is an interesting one. It just says, answer the following rhythm. You can write whatever you like as long as it fits into the time signature. So there are any number of answers to this, right? So here's what they've written. So we're in 3/4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's what they've written. Then you just have to come up with another pattern for the next 2 bars, which is slightly different, but so it answers it. Yeah. So here.
I don't get your last beat there, Richard. I thought it just went.
So it goes 1 and 1. So 1 and 2, 3, 1,
Yes.
2. So it's da 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 da. So and that one lasts for 2 beats.
Right, gotcha. Yeah.
I can't do a da with with a pen, which is like I could do it on. Right. So then you have to come up with another rhythm which is, you know, lasts for 2 beats, has the correct number of beats in the bar.
Right.
So you might go da 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 da, or something like that, you know. But it's up to you, as long as you fit it in to the correct number of beats in the bar. Da 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 3 da 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 da. You can do whatever you like as long as it's.
Well, I would take the first bar, stick it in the 4th bar, and the second one into the 3rd bar.
Right. So you would do. Yeah, I mean that would work. So you would go ba na na yeah. Yep, that would be a correct answer. You could do whatever you like.
That was a bit cunning, that one.
Yeah, that's
Just
the easy one.
repeating the question.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
But I mean, is that a term? Answer the following rhythm. I mean, I wouldn't know what that meant.
Yeah. It just means here's a postulation. Here's a suggestion. You know, come up with something that's like it has to be in keeping with that, right? So you wouldn't just go da 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 da, you know, because that's, you know, that's just ridiculous, right? So I mean, it
I quite liked it. Oh dear, I'm feeling really depressed.
Anyway, so yes, you could come up with, I might do da 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 da. Also an acceptable answer, as long as you have 3 beats in each bar.
Yep.
You can do what you like.
Alto, ostinato.
Okay.
So the second to last bar, is that second thing, is that a crotchet?
Yes, it's a badly written crotchet.
Thank you, just checking.
Yeah. Okay, an ostinato is just a pattern.
Oh, that's a new word.
Write 2 more repeats of this pattern.
It means stubborn.
Okay. In music, it just means like
The same.
a motif or just a phrase which da, 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 da. So it's just all it's asking you to do is just keep writing it.
In the same notes or any notes you like?
No, same notes.
Oh,
So it's just a practice of writing notes. I mean, it's pretty easy.
oh. I think I could just about manage that.
Copy
Yeah.
what they've got. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, 2 more repeats of the pattern.
Yeah. So yeah, you would just write them in. Sorry, you would write them a little bit better than that.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's all you would need to do. Write 2 more repeats of the pattern. Just copy what they've got. Yeah. Pretty straightforward. Now,
It's
Here-
easy for 10 marks.
yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the following piece and answer the questions below. This is the last section, so all the questions relate back to this piece of music which they've written at the top.
Let's see.
In which major key is the piece?
C.
C major. Write a Roman numeral below the last note of the piece to show that a tonic triad should accompany it.
1.
Do we remember Roman numerals from last week?
I'll see. Oh, yeah.
Isn't it a 1?
Yep. That is
Oh.
a 1 in a
Or-
capital I in a Roman numeral is 1. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Do. Now, do we know what do is?
Yes. Do was C.
In this case, yes. Do is another word for the tonic, right? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. It's just solfege, right? So, everyone knows the solfege scale?
Hmm.
Do, dear. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So do is 1, right?
Yep.
Do is written in 2 different registers in this piece. Put a box around an example of low do and high do.
Oh, well, the first one's a C.
First Do.
Well, the highest
And then
one is
The
this.
second,
And the-
that
and the-
second note.
And there's a high C in the second bar. That's
Yeah.
it.
yeah, that's it.
Okay, so that's what you would have to do for that one. There are plenty of low do's, but there's only one high do. So yeah, as long as you got that one, you can use any of the other low ones.
Oh, good. I do well in this one.
Put a bracket above the place where there is a 1 octave arpeggio in the key of the piece. Now, what's an arpeggio?
1, 3, 5.
First, third, fifth.
1, 3,
first.
5, 8, and I can see it. I can see it.
Yep, so where is it?
Are you asking me or
1.
everybody?
1?
It's in the first 2
In the
bars of
Second
the
line.
base.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bar
so-
5 to 6.
Bar 5 and 6, right?
Yep.
So we would do that.
Yep.
Okay. What does the curved line under the notes in bar 1 mean? Now, that we may not have talked about.
The ties.
No, the curved line under the notes in bar 1.
I think it means that you don't take a breath. You just you swipe.
Yeah. line number-
Swipe the note.
It's a
Yeah,
slur. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's known as a slur.
Yeah.
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 Right.
So yeah, if you're singing it, they're joined together.
Yep.
Not detached. It's often written, and when we see it in barbershop, if you've got 1 syllable with 2 different notes,
Yeah.
you would
Yeah.
need to put a slur line between those 2 to show that you have to use, you've only got the 1 syllable to sing, but you've got 2 notes to sing it on.
And wouldn't they generally also write the syllable with a dash after it?
Yes, often they would. Yeah. Okay.
Why?
Just to show that that syllable keeps going for, you know, like,
Oh.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Okay, name the interval between the two notes marked with asterisks in bar 3.
G,
Oh, there's only
G,
one note between them.
A.
a major second.
Yeah. How many? So what's the interval between a G and an A?
Isn't it?
How many semitones between a G and an A?
Oh, that
Two.
one.
2.
Between-
Two.
There are 2, right?
Yep.
G,
Yep.
G sharp, A. So G to an A, there are 2 semitones. So what type of interval has 2 semitones?
What do you mean? Sorry. What type of interval?
A
Well,
major
what do you call it? What?
Oh.
It's a major second.
Oh.
It's a major second.
It's all right. I was cheating. I read it.
I don't quite get that.
So
Your sheet with the red squares on it.
I'm looking at that. Where would I find that? Oh, you show me later, Ross, because I don't know that one.
So it's a G and an A, right? Well, so it has to be a second because a G and an A are right next to each other, and
Yeah.
then but it's so it can either be a minor second or a major second or an augmented second or a diminished second, right? So those are the two all the types of seconds. So
But I know it's a major second because
Major
it's written in C.
yeah, well that's right. That is a good way of working it out. Yes. So it's a major second because it's 2 semitones. If you've got 2 semitones and you've got notes that are adjacent to each other like G and A, then it's got to be a major second.
Right.
Okay. In grade 1, they may only require you to write second. Second might be correct in grade 1. However, we know that it's a major second, so we should always put major second because we've already done that. Okay, how does the composer separate the music in bars 4 and 5?
One, 2,
What do you mean?
Rest.
4, and 5. The rest, yeah.
What sort of rest?
Crotchet.
Yeah, I think the answer would be crotchet rest,
Okay.
i.e. there is 1 beat of silence.
Yep.
Oh, I see. Right.
Oh, so I see.
Like if you just wrote a rest, well, yes, that is correct, right? It has been separated by the use of a rest. But I think the most correct answer would be a crotchet rest or a 1 beat rest.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would have confused me. I would have written, he wrote the next bit on a new line.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I did think of that as well, but I thought, well, that can't possibly be what they're trying to do. So therefore, I figured it must be the rest. Okay. Next question. What does creche mean? Which is written up here.
Crescendo.
Crescendo.
Gets louder.
Gradually get louder.
faster. Not louder.
Well done. I would write crescendo. Gradually get louder.
I didn't even have to look up that one.
Good work. Now, we might not have done the next one. What does that sign mean in bar 8?
Is that like a
Decrescendo.
Not in the, like if you had a long one, which over like a course of a bar, then that would be a sign for a decrescendo. But when
I have no idea.
I'm not sure.
Oh,
what
is it like an accent?
it's an accent. Yeah, that's what it means.
Is it not? So how would you write staccato note?
Staccato note is written by a dot.
Ah,
So,
okay.
if you
Where would you write the dot?
you would write it like if you would write it like that.
Okay.
Probably slightly further.
So, how do you accent it?
And then it's different.
Whichever way you like.
No, it just means like
Like you play it louder, would you?
Play it louder. Yes.
What, is it like accentuate?
Yeah. Accentuate. Yep. Yep.
So does the mezzo forte that's underneath that, is that a direction for how much louder to make it, or?
Yeah. Well, okay. So you've started that line in piano,
Yeah.
right? We've got a P at bar 5. Then when you get to bar 7, you crescendo and you end up on MF, right?
Okay.
But it needs to be sort of accented, we've gradually crescendoed and then we've got there and we've ba,
Yeah.
Moderately loud. Yeah.
So that means accent. At what tempo should this piece be played?
Faster than we're getting through it.
Walking pace, so about the speed we're getting through it.
Yes. So the tempo marking.
Mezzo piano.
No, tempo is speed, right? So
Moderately quiet.
yeah, but we're looking for tempo, which means speed.
Oh,
MP is dynamics, right? But we're looking at what tempo we need. So what's the direction given to us for the tempo?
And
Andante,
Andante.
walking pace.
Yep, which means
Walking pace.
at a walking pace.
So does that be 60 beats per minute?
However fast you want to walk.
Right. I mean, standard march time is
120.
I think.
don't care.
There you go. You've answered all the questions.
No, you have, Richard.
Yeah, that's
Well,
about
we're in
right.
together.
Yes.
Oh.
Well,
So
Well,
basically speaking, there wasn't anything in there that, well, there was a couple of things in there that were like, what is an arpeggio? Okay, good point. We hadn't really talked about that, but now we've learned what an arpeggio is.
the ostinato.
Ostinato just means a pattern, so that's okay.
Mm.
The mistakes in the music. Yeah, so we've learned that
I'm not using those.
the tempo markings have to go above the stave and the dynamic markings are below.
Mm.
Yeah, and we've learned about how to put lines across if you've got 4 quavers in a bar. Otherwise, like most of this should have been familiar, right, to most of us.
What was arpeggio again? My short-term memory is dreadful.
Arpeggio is 1, 3, 5, 8.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
triad plus 1.
Yeah, triad plus the tonic at the top.
Okay.
Okay.
So, oh, I see. So that the fourth note is always the
that's it.
tonic?
That's
Yes.
got to be G. Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, because 8 is the same as 1, right? We've just gone up an octave. So it's 1, 3, 5, 8, or top 1.
Oh, we've done all those. Yeah.
Yep. So does that make sense?
We've
Yep.
finished.
That was our review of grade 1 theory. So,
Well,
Well, I don't know that I would have passed.
well, okay. So what we might do, I could email you a theory paper, and you could have a go, and then we could go over the answers next week.
Okay. That'd be good. Yeah.
I think it would be good.
Yeah.
That would be good.
I picked up one of these little babies a couple of days ago at KBB Music.
Oh yeah.
Did
Yeah,
it
so
have a
I'm
live
gonna
one
start-
inside it?
Start playing keyboards and learning. I've already worked out the scale in C and F, and I'll get a beginner's tutor, and hopefully within a year or so I might be able to play something.
There you go. Well done.
Good on you.
Nice.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. So that's Oh, so if anyone's watching the recording and they want me to email you, them a theory paper, let me know. Okay, but I'm just going to email it immediately to the 7 of you who are here. But if
Please.
you're then watching the recording later and you want one, let me know.